Why don't I put this thing on my nipple? Everyone appreciate how thick I am. Would you look at that? I'm a professional. Tusk. Kevin Smith. Am I copying Gus Johnson by taping a mic onto something? No. There we go. Just go ahead and sit up here. You know how autistic kids have special interests? Most autistic people will be extremely passionate about like one thing exclusively, but not all for sure. A very common one is reptiles, Star Wars. I'm autistic and mine is Tusk. Oh my god. Why do I like it? Because I'm a furry and my persona is a walrus. You guys, it's Mr. Tusk signed by Kevin Smith. I can practically smell his fingers. Let's jump into how the movie was made. I bow down to you. I love you. Believe it or not, a movie about a man being turned into a walrus was written a while high. The movie was based off a real life ad. Terrifying. He went to Twitter and he said, hey, should I make this walrus movie? All his stands said, yes, yes. They were thirsty. A24 made it. Not to go film school. Joker was actually a cinematic masterpiece on you guys. But A24 is keeping cinema alive. Anyway, the guy over at A24 just gives him money. He's just like, I just want to see if you can do it. Let's jump into the plot. Justin Long, professional dad joke maker.
Sorry, I'm just teasing.
Baby, I love you. I'ma just come out and say, you guys. Wallace Brighton is kinda hot, though. Wallace Brighton is a podcaster, and what I really like about Kevin Smith is Kevin Smith writes what he knows. Clerks, convenience stores clerks. Mallrats, people hanging out in a mall. Tusk, a podcaster that gets his legs chopped off, arms chopped off, tongue chopped off, skin ripped off his body. Wait a this podcaster is flying to Canada to interview a kid that chopped his leg off. Love it. But the kid committed suicide.
With his own fucking sword. Couldn't hold out for 2 more days. Selfish little peg-leg piece of shit.
He is every movie critic I see talks about this movie. They're always like, "Oh, I can't care about Wallace because he's a jerk, and I think he deserves it." I just think it's kind of hot. Gosh, I flew to Canada, and I don't have a story to tell on my podcast. So he goes into the bathroom to take a pee, and as he's peeing, he sees an ad. He goes, "Oh, old man wants to tell me stories. Let's do that." So he goes to the house. Ew. He sees the old man. Ewier. And the old guy starts talking about, "Oh, I was lost at sea, acquainted by a walrus. Oh, I was friends with Ernest Hemingway." Who even is Ernest Hemingway? Who even, I only like Lil Pump. Gen Z. Tusk. Oh, hold up, wait a second. There's drugs in the tea? He wakes up the next morning, and his leg is gone.
Oh my god, there's no leg there. My leg is off! Why am I still here? Why am I in the hospital? Rounds from the middle of nowhere! What the fuck is this?
Howard Howe took the bone of his leg to make a tusk. Mwah! There's a scene of them eating food, which is my favorite scene because I think the acting is actually kind of brilliant.
This man, indeed, a walrus at heart.
Like, say that with a straight face, I dare you. He wakes up later, somehow not paralyzed like how he was. He calls his girlfriend, he says, "I need you to call the cops. Canada doesn't have cops, they don't exist."
Okay, call the cops. I don't want to die in Canada.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? If he were to call the cops, there would be no third act of the movie. Shut up! In Human Centipede, the cops came in the third act, and that was a perfect ending. So we skip this scene. It's a monologue. Blah, 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 blah. I was raped. Blah, 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 blah. Stupid trauma.
Had things in my mouth that no human being should ever taste.
Then he wakes up and is a walrus. This happens so fast. And this was done in a matter of 12 hours. The last scene he was in, he was just a human, and then now it's like, it's just very abrupt.
It's so very hard to be the elephant of the deep blue sea.
I'm sure it's that hard having that fat of an ass, but you'll get used to it. Fat and ass, that fat, I wouldn't know what to do either.
Whenever the crew would go to lunch, Justin Long would stay inside the walrus suit to get into the character and like feel isolated. Holy Jesus, what? Howard's plan to make Wallace full walrus is he has to physically, I know the marker is very dead. He has to physically be a walrus. He has to learn to swim. He has to eat a fish. And he has to beat him in a fight. Here's where Tusk loses people. Johnny Depp is in the movie. Why? I don't think his character's bad. I just think it drags on a lot. His character introduction is 20 minutes. Gay la pointe. I bet you anything. Kevin Smith here, Kevin, was just so happy to have Johnny Depp in a movie that he said, you know what? Ad-lib whatever you want.
Have you ever been to Poutine Weenie on Rue de Jour?
Poutine really does not agree with me.
You doing funny, boy? So it cuts back to Walrus. He's crying. Rightfully so. And then they start fighting. Howard Howe has his own walrus suit. He would have had to kill a lot of people to get this much skin. This is 5 people minimum. Look at this clip. He rolls his eyes as a walrus.
Soothing to the soul.
Can we get an Oscar over here? It just makes so much sense. That's how you know a human is still in that thing. Even in this clip, he's like, huh? Wallace? Walrus? I just got it. Aren't you very clever, Mr. Smith? Wallace kills Howard. Now he is full walrus. He is walrus indeed. Are y'all ready for the best cinematic ending, like, of all time? They take Wallace and make him a zoo animal. They literally put him in a zoo.
3.
They go and feed him fish. Like, what?
I love you, Wallace. Don't ever forget that.
If doctors were to try to save him, he would be insanely deformed. Like, insanely, very, very deformed. If this old man can make him a walrus, I'm telling you, professionals can undo it. He's mentally a walrus, so even if they were to do that, he would still mentally be a walrus. He's crying. Look at him. He wants to die. So yeah, it's Tusk. I am deeming Tusk as an unofficial cult classic. It's the same thing as Human Centipede. It's fun to watch with a group of people because it's disgusting. Love you, bitch. There's a spin-off of Tusk called Yoga Hosers of the Convenience Stores Clerks. It's about Nazi bratwurst sausages. I love you. I'm so sorry. There we go. That's the Tusk video. Go stream Tusk. It's on Netflix. Hey, thank you to my patrons. Everyone go support me through Patreon. Shout out to all my Patreons now. Ooh.
I'm so scared. This guy wants to turn me into an animal or something.